Audio has more than 2 channels. Oh, there I am at least. Analytics. What I'm going to do this morning is, one, run a little earlier for my live session for my England and Australian crowds. I got to sit here and answer comments on videos. I'm a little bit behind. And I think it's just going to be kind of an insider view of what I'm doing. What we got to deal with to move everybody here. So there we are. This doesn't display anybody's real name or any of that stuff. Just gives me whatever their username is. And whatever you put out in public, that was all you, not me. So, there is that. You know what? I have got to be able to see your chats over here. And yeah, I saw that on a bunch of comments. I was looking through the comments. Hold on. Man, I'm coughing up a storm this morning. This is going to be bad. I saw that on a bunch of comments about everybody missing them, and that's because I kept doing them late in the evening. And even then, that was bad to do because I had, I got about 3 different time zones, and therefore you don't get the same follow through each time. What we're about, I want to say 6 p.m. Perth right now. I might be wrong. Somewhere around there. Alright. So we're going to start with the comments I got to go through. So self-centered. Hope you have COVID. And this time, when you say it's because it was you, you'd be right. Okay. So they're hoping I got COVID disease, and they got a thumbs up from it. Oh, that was me that thumbs upped it. Was it? There we go. Nope. Now I thumbs upped it. Let's give them a little heart, too. Yeah. Hold on, I got a little. Appreciate the comments. There we go. The only reason I'm putting a comment up there is if I don't, it's kind of a pain in the ass to come back here later. YouTube keeps cycling them back to me if I don't either delete the user or you can't just ignore somebody, basically. K19 here. Only upgrade during events. C38 1900 4,000 stats events are always awesome. Free stuff. I see people now upgrading Pursuer gear just to show off, but there's no freebies for it. Right. They're not getting anything by upgrading in the middle. They gave them the new gear and the new stats, and some people can't wait. They just absolutely can't wait. He's absolutely right on that. Appreciate reply. Okay. Now we know what the weirdos are doing on this lockdown. That's some random guy that's probably not a GOG gamer that walked into our live the other night. Hey, War Ryer from K95, by the way. I got both my Wanderers back, just letting you know. I had nothing to do with that, boss. It wasn't me. They just said there's a video of us using C3s to, I should say us. I wasn't even on. I hadn't been on for a while. And they were using C3s. They were leveling an account during UAC, and then they made it an account moved it to that kingdom and stole the wonder with a little C3. And then once you wait 10 days, it goes back to the original owner. I mean, it's not like you're stealing it permanently, but it's just something fun to do. Let's thumbs up and give it a little heart. Yeah. There we go. I don't know what all my canned responses say anymore. I've been so long doing this. The only site that worked for me was Dante's Guide. That guy is a spammer. He's trying to use some bot to act like he's commenting naturally. So first we report him as a spammer. Unwanted commercial spam report. That way they'll start looking at the fact that he flagged. The spammers have gotten a little out of control because Google sent everybody home. The mic's muffled. Probably because I'm not looking at it. Is that better when I'm up here on the Jacob? Up on the mic? Plus there's a rattle in my voice. It's almost behind my head. You'd think with this big cone on the bottom of the mic that they're unidirectional, and I've got a switch on there where I can make it that way, but then it picks up every echo off every wall when I do that. And so it's actually set up to capture my voice from the side. You know, or people think you talk down into them, and they're not designed to do that either. It's really weird. Okay, got to him. Oh, and then we're going to hide this user from the channel because I've got so many stinking videos. His software is going to like filter through my channel and the CSDK24C logged in :1. I don't know what he's doing. He thinks he can actually log into my account. He's wrong. Oh. Probably one of my stalkers went to some YouTube channel or some website to try and figure out how to hack my account. I don't know. Cancel. Let me look at the comments in the chat here. No, it sounds like you have a bit too much suppression. Maybe. Okay. Man, I'm getting all the way over into the yellow, so that can't be it. I'll turn it up just a little bit, see what happens there. How about... Okay, try it from there on. I turned it up just a touch. And... Oops. Get this thing back up in front of me here. See if that works a little better. Oh, Jeffrey, right now I'm not focusing on the older kingdom events. They're different than the newer kingdoms. I don't know. The last time I did the spin event, I took my 4 choices of the Uber loot, and I spun 4 times, and I got all 4 pieces. So I don't know that there's any that's got to be nothing but random luck. I mean, there's no skill involved to it. It's gambling. So I don't know of anything that's. Well, I don't want to wait till I notice, man. Hold on. I updated my software the other day, and how much you want to bet? I'm not paying attention to something here. Okay, so if I bet you if I do this right now, you can hear me very clearly, right? See, we've been doing the lives where I've been bringing the people in, and I bet you somehow I'm not going through my blue mic like I think I'm going through. So let's try this for a little bit and see what happens. If I can find my channel, see my live stream again. There we go. Okay, we'll try both of those. Plus, the benefit of this is when I turn my head to read the thing. So hold on, I was reporting the hacker. Oh, so we can make the screen slightly smaller. Harassment. You know, just can't seem to get it to go there. Google, want to come back here and watch that? Yeah, something about window sizing, and Google has gone in and changed the visual interface to everything, and they act like a hyperlink cannot move from one page to another because they have some weirdly system. I swear they're still using the old and what were they called? The blue servers. So remove. Guns of Glory tower defense. Explain to me why more infantry is bad. Troop type in game. No one says more infantry is bad. Ever. But there's a balance to be made. Oh, well, Nick new on here to say, explain to me why more infantry is bad. It's the most offensive troop in the game. People's judgment on what the most offensive troop is purely based on what dies first. There are 3 parts, a rock, paper, scissors of this math calculation, guys. And cavalry kills your infantry. But what if you kill the cavalry before it kills your infantry? Did your infantry defend, or did your distance defend? Because distance kills cavalry, right? And then that changes on subclasses from tier to tier to tier. So, you're looking at the tower defense calculator, and to be honest, I wrote that one, and FunPlus went and modified the Mart spamming like 8 hours after I released the video. So that one has to be updated to a larger volume March than what we normally deal with. So No, this is the broadcaster, Jacob. If audio is crap, the video is crap. The people will actually watch a crappy video. They just won't listen to crappy audio. The it won't pop out. Won't do you any good trying to get points. But having the ingots so that you can move things around is not a bad thing. I had made a plan to do that myself simply because I'm going to need it for film shooting purposes at the very least. See, I can't just go out and buy one set of equipment. I got to buy all sets of equipment. I got to be able to move it up, move it down, move it left, to the right, and I actually test and I spend money to test. That's why when I say I'm going to spend, I set aside $10,000 for this new Kingdom 533 this year. I'm not going to have to do as much testing as I used to, but I still have to do some testing, and a lot of it's just throwaway money. Where I'll spend $1,000 on a farm simply trying something out because I don't want to screw around on my main. So. Oh, muffled. Let me see here. Make sure my audio is turned up there. You didn't tell me if putting on the headset fixed the muffled problem. Yeah. And see, this is why people don't get these questions answered, because that's a complex question of which he hasn't, you know. There we go. But it's a rock, paper, scissors, and it's a 36 outcome, and then you get up in the 8s and the 9s, and there's a balance that starts flipping back and forth, like they go, oh, we can't just make this thing uniform. People figure out the pattern. And that's why in the 7, 8s, and 9s you lose a lot of troops during that time. It's because the subclasses get wonky and they don't follow traditional. It's like trying to, hot potato, and then somebody just changing direction in the middle of the game. Love the materials and screw the haters. That's you, Trick. We're talking about. Just so you know, I'm going to mention you in every video from now until the dawn of time. Trick was offered the ability to use this channel to grow his alliance, but he couldn't keep his mouth shut and stop lying, cheating, and harassing people. And then I finally told him, I was like, I don't want to be anywhere near you. I'm not about to help you in any way. And after that, he started his little troll game. Been trolling me for 2 years now. He actually got a comment up in here where he followed into the live like, how dare you keep talking about me? Apparently, you're following my live videos and know I'm talking about you. If you're so offended by me, stop listening. It's very easy. Turn it off. That you and the little frat boy crew. My God. I just couldn't imagine harassing somebody for 2 years. What my goal would be from it. I can't even. I can't even accomplish what they're I can't even fathom what they're trying to accomplish. Love the material, screw the haters. There we go. I got that one in there. Put a little appreciate, reply. Got all these people that got subscribers following me now. I got a lot of I don't know what you call them, influencers or wannabe influencers. I don't care. People that are trying. That's the funny thing about the trolls that have followed me for so long. If they'd have built a channel to troll me with, they'd be making $1,000, $1,500 a month right now. It's insane how much money they've thrown away trying to throw my money away. Yeah. I recently found a web app from which you may get coins, gold, gems, diamonds, blah, 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 called Zeppy Guys. That's a spammer. No. That's what we want to do. Port. And this is like terribly boring. I gotta go through all the spam stuff. They're almost to that point. YouTube moves the goalposts forward when they get. And right now, if somebody went and started a channel, wanted to go out and live stream from their phone, you can't. You just can't do it. They won't let you. You can see where he spammed a whole bunch of videos. I'm from that king and just learned something. I don't know. Guns of Glory, new key. Oh, he's from that kingdom. He shortened it up. Yeah. Man, all you guys that are awake right now, do you know that I have a new kingdom K533? Putting the head on. Yeah, Jacob, if Pearl says the audio's fine on his end, then it's got to be on your end, right? I mean, he's somewhere else in the world. Perry, rather. I see the eye now. My gosh. We're going to end this quick if I keep coughing this bad. Well, Kingdom 95 GOG player warrior is truly a miserable ass. I cannot imagine this was a random act. He is worthy of the kingdom's disdain. I don't know who warrior. Oh. See, we had I got my wonders back a little earlier, and now we got somebody else going, thank you for harassing him. The same message with your main and KC. Let's talk there. So, okay. Mr. Divine Yes Dayan. That's a fucking threat. How about you march your ass over and do that to my face? And that's a threat not to me, that's a threat to another user. So, whoever has those wonders, Fun Plus, as you're monitoring that man just threatened another player. Out in the real world. That's inappropriate behavior. Take action. Steal that fucker's shit. I'm telling you, I'm getting a little tired of you trolls who think you're immune. The liberal crap where the world says, oh my God, no one's going to touch you. Bullying's bad. Yeah, when you're running your mouth, don't walk up and kick old Superman in the balls. You're going to get spit slapped somewhere along there. So Devesh right now, hold on. I'm going to negative that down rather. Man, that just pisses me off. I do not want to see people harassing other players. Now he's doing it like, The guy didn't trash. He's like, well, you're deserving of it. Well, here's the comment right underneath it. Go say that in Kingdom Chat with your thing, so that you can zero his castle. He just proved he's a worthless asshole. That's why you are now publicly on video. Everybody knows you're a worthless little human being. Trick does the same thing. As soon as nobody's looking, or they can modify the KC, or they just always sleight of hand crap. Been doing it for years. There is no ability to talk rationally with a person like that. Just keep zeroing them, guys. If you don't do it as a kingdom, or every time, leave him alone in a tower. Let other kingdoms zero him. Make sure your kingdom doesn't have a king. Because of people like that. Come play in K533. I have about 900. We were at 600 just a little while. I got about 900 YouTube followers that are playing in K533 right now. It has been absolutely entertaining. Because this kingdom's going to be different. I'm calling out the little shit callers. I'm not going to let them turn around and get away with it for nothing. Oh, you know what? My gosh, I got to put my glasses on. Get the coughing, get the sleep, look at there, I can see a little bit now. Marshall offering help in Kingdom 533. If you need help, advice. I don't have time to do the one-on-ones in the game. Everybody that goes in there and tries to private contact me, two problems with that. Okay? The two problems with that is, one, that's a way for people to tell when you're online. So I don't allow that contact for that reason. And that's an old trick to see when you're online. So if you log off, they know when to zero you. Is there a way to fix the matchups, get better matchup? Nope, sure is not. We gave out good advice a long time ago. And the matchups now incorporate activity. Matter of fact, the player versus environment events match activity. Our brand new Kingdom 533 is so active with my viewers. We have more kills that we have to do for the Thrall event than any older kingdom does. Just because of that player activity. It's insane. So it allows me to look at, because of an event like that, I can look at the numbers and gauge activity going on inside the kingdom now. I've got a new stat I can work with. So I've been tickled. Oh, man, I hate that shit, man. And I'll tell you why you see me go off. Is because no one's ever had the balls to do that to my face. All these little tough talkers, these telephone, internet tough guys, yeah, they're not that way in real life. It's all these, oh, you're such a bully. I'm polite and kind. But you walk up and say, you're just a worthless beast. I might even let you get away with that. But this is the digital version of poking your finger in somebody's chest and what are you going to do about it? That's what that is. There's a whole world of new laws that these kids don't even know exist yet. And the consequences are dire. And I'm talking about federal agents coming in and removing the computers and devices from your home because you've been harassing people online. Harassing people to include things like falsely reporting them for inappropriate behavior, falsely reporting them for misusing content. So if we're going to protect digital content and you turn around and you file a claim that content doesn't belong to that person, that's a false report now. All these reports that you're filing with the click of a button now have law agencies behind them. Different world this year than it was last year. Trump is trying to protect content providers, but that also means that the people who have been misbehaving with no recourse, they're out now being burned. If you guys are wondering how come Jacob got to use that burn symbol, that's because he's one of my he's clicked the join button under the video, and he's one of the sponsors that pays for the vets benefits that we give out. I can't believe it. And the number of people that are finding me via the website and not YouTube is amazing. I have been working more on the website. So, appreciate that. Reply. And now you see why I did the appreciate it. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to refresh the page. And more spammers report. The Dark Poet. Game Crook is amazing. That's keyword spamming. I've seen the game. He's like on 50 videos talking about Game Crook. The cool name, but for those of you trying to bump your channel up using me, that's not the way to do it. Everybody out there that tells you how to build videos will tell you that doesn't work because it gets you this. That's why you don't do it. You're now building that list. And then we go in there and we go click hide that user from the channel. Thank you for Game Crook. Look at this. More of this crap. Port. More spam, more spam, more spam. This would have been caught by Google normally before it ever got to me. But the COVID thing's got more of this crap getting through. Okay. This is why I went live. Keychain Gaming. This is another video influencer. This is how you turn around and get me to mention your channel on my channel so that you can get more viewers, because he asked a very valid question that he didn't know the answer to. So I like working with these people. I'm going to look at his channel. I'll probably watch some of his videos, and I'll decide whether or not to add him to the website or not, because this was done properly. So we're going to thumbs him up for doing so. Now, can you get an update on the change of the vampire thralls that's happened just a couple hours ago? They're like 10 times harder to kill. I thought it was in my head because I was spamming thralls. I did good 300-400 stamina of thralls this morning, and I finally opened up my 4th March in Kingdom 533, and man, I went up to those 17s and 18s. I was losing like 20,000 troops. What I can say, that when I got tired of hitting the heal button, hold on guys. Man, what I can say was when I got tired of hitting the heal button over and over and over again, that I went and built me a proper beast march. You know, something you would hit the gate with, something you'd hit the wolf event with, the kingdom threat, and just deleted the artillery from that. So like 500 infantry and then a 50-50 mix, or whatever, you know, a 50-50 mix in each tier for your cavalry and distance, and that took down what you needed. So if this patch holds, you're going to have a beast march pretty much all the time as one of your formation buttons. And for the developers who monitor my stuff, we want more formation buttons. Begging for them for 2 years. You need some situational response formation buttons. There's no sense not having that. That's easy enough ad that would make people happy. PB Nation, better to use versus LD player instead of that crap software known as BlueStacks. I don't know if that's a real comment or just somebody who's PB Nation. Let's look at him. I would imagine that player allows him to steal the music content he's uploading to frickin' YouTube. Looks like he's trying to get subscribers. He only had one real subscriber. Hide him from the channel. I'm not going to do nothing negative to him, but okay, so gave them that. And because people are going to look for that, and information minus artillery to cut down on loss. If you guys haven't figured it out, they're selling more troops, okay? And they're selling more heal speed ups, and they're selling more speed ups. And they're starting to figure out that time is what they sell, not stats. People do not like buying stats, but they will buy time without complaint. It's how they think in their own little world they're getting ahead. They are just now coming around to discovering what we've known for about 15 years. If they'd have had a proper influencer program, we could have had this discussion with them 2 years ago. But they don't. They don't care. Matter of fact, their response is to put up their own YouTube influencer channel. I have to monitor it because they get information before I do. Charming DM. Okay. That's the ever-growing crew of people there, Trick, who now can spot. I mean, it's like 40 people already in the brand new kingdom that can spot Miller when he changes tags because he can't help himself in the way that he speaks, the way that he acts. It's so childish. I don't know what to do with you guys, man. You would think you'd want to hang around and enjoy playing the game. But I can tell you right now, once I figure out who you are, what you're playing for, and Alex did PM me to say, oh, they do this stuff in Gamer Like. We go, hi. And they do that just in case I change my name so that they think they can find me through a name change. Alex is their bot farmer that they're bringing over, so he'll be setting up the bots. They've offered the R5 of the number one alliance over there to run their bots for them, and I advised her. She's like, well, so what should I do? And I was like, well, I would never give anybody control of my account or my alliance. Now, if you're gonna go through all the frustration of building it, because it sucks being in charge. I mean, it's time management. It's nothing to do with fun in the game. You've got two types of people that become R5s of an alliance. One is somebody who thinks they're going to manipulate the 99 people underneath them to give them free crap. And it is true. The R5, because he's the way they build the game interface, every time he requests something, he gets it. Okay? And usually to the max amount every day. There's the other type of R5 that just wanted to see things run better. Either on time, without the drama, blah, 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 whatever. You never know. Is the dentist, guys. Look at that. 200 subscribers this person has of somebody who's running around spamming. Report. Unwanted commercial content or spam. And what happens is that their channel is going to get hurt by that crap. I actually had somebody do that as a trolling thing, where they went out and they spent $50 and they bought like 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers. I noticed them just go shooting through the roof, and I contacted Google and I said, okay, hold on, those aren't real, they're not mine. Wherever that's coming from, make that go away. And Google cooperated. But at the same time, Google has no interface for somebody who reports themselves for getting inappropriate freaking subscribers. So it was an effective spamming of my account. It hurt me for real subscribers for a good month and a half because I was getting 40, 50 a day real subscribers, and you've got to bust that 40, 50 a day number in order to flag the this might be fraud calculation. So somebody had to spend quite a bit of money to do it, and then it slowed my growth of subscriptions down, but it doesn't slow my views down, because at the end of the day, I control my website 100%. I don't have to rely on Google, and we have 10 times the traffic over at Rogers Raiders that we got on YouTube. I need to get back to writing more content, but I just running the business and being the business is two different things. And they were already reported, so hide the user from the channel. Their way to fix matchups, man. I've addressed that in many times and forms. Bug and imbalance. And that's where I got off subject of saying activity. Activity is now a calculation. I was looking at that before, because activity is a calculation in the UACs now. If your alliance was active last UAC, the amount of activity your last UAC saw is calculated in your next roll. So you bring 100 people to the fight, they know it. They know you're going to be difficult, and you're going to be playing. You may be matched up. I don't know how their logarithm completely works, but it might be one of those things where you're matched up against 6 superhero freaking accounts. So what are you going to do? Tell people to stay home and not play? You can't do that. So play the way you play. The answer to this is more activity in all kingdoms, right? That's why I've suggested many times in the past a Care Bear system. Would love to be a member of the Alliance. He is a member of the Alliance. I'm going to join this kingdom with you. Matter of fact, he's got an Uber account. S-Splice does. S-Splice usually in these things. MJG, thank you for the donation. £5, man. I don't even know what that is in American money right now. Usually pounds are worth more than $1. Hold on. Man, they will never merge kingdoms. I've already had this discussion with people at FunPlus about that. It was a royal, utter disaster. The Care Bear Kingdom that I have suggested is the fix to older kingdoms, but that is a fix to the problem that me and you have with them dwindling down. Their goal is income, and their fix to it is go join a new kingdom and spend again. Now, I can tell you that the spending is much, much less. You can be C10 in 4 hours, all your quests done. C16 for free within a day. Spend $5 to open up your second hammer, and if you wait while you're doing the stuff, they're going to pop an ad up that says for 99 cents to start getting your Henry II, and then during the startup event, you'll be offered the ability to buy packs for so much gold to get free Henry II upgrades. If you wait and don't just go blindly spending money like you have in the past, and you time your spends, $100 in a new kingdom will get you a maxed out Henry, 4-star Henry II card, which is no wood, no food. Get you right up to C22 pretty easily. They'll give you so many damn speed ups that you won't have to slow down. I tell you, the challenge winds up being is, can you plan your account to take advantage of all the free stuff they're going to get you, or do you get frustrated and spend before they give you something for free? That's going to wind up being the challenge. Google is actually reading the questions now and trying to answer them for me if I let it. And I just did that time. Thanks, and sure. If I am in Central Time, I'm going to be operating off Central Time in Kingdom 533. We've got a complete West Coast alliance now. We've got tons and tons of East Coast timers. In Kingdom 362, we had so many people from Britain, and I don't know why I got so many Aussie followers, but because we didn't have any in Kingdom 362, not that I know of. I'm yawning because I've actually been up all night. While you guys are just getting out of bed, most of you, or been up for a little bit, I'm about ready to go to bed. I had a migraine all day yesterday, so I slept for like 20 hours. Got up and did this stuff last night. I need to make a... Yeah, the trolls. There's only so much the trolls can do, because at the end of the day, they got themselves and bots. They can change their names. They can make KC chat seem like 90 million people. Look at all the people that hate you suddenly. Why would they hate me? The other day, the discussion was completely about, how about we have something out in the open that can be read and monitored back, so that the other 12 to 1,500 people in the kingdom could actually read what was said. We don't want that. Everybody hates your idea. And it was 2 guys on frickin' 30 frickin' emulators. Because their modus operandi when they go into a kingdom is they insert castles into every single alliance so they can see what's going on. You know, the other day we just finally booted Shell's little castle because she thought we didn't know. You know, at the end of the day, when you're a hateful little prick, everybody snitches on you anyway. You can't hide. You think you can. You think you're clever. But I get people that PM me saying, you know who that is, don't you? I don't. What's worse is I don't care. Nothing they're going to do is going to affect my gameplay. Not one thing. They can zero my account. I will still grow at the exact same speed as if I had 50 million troops. You can't slow me down. You can go from zero. You can go from C0 to C30 without a single troop in your account, just as fast as anything. Not that hard. Explain to me in a simple way where to put them, please. Man, this guy's got 400 subscribers to something. This looks like spam. Open link a new window. This guy's got 400 subscribers and no content. How about we just remove him? Unfortunately, lots of people hard way. Kingdom uses buck gear, auto. Man, I can't even follow this train of thought. Oh, this guy's got 444 subscribers, and how about we look at that one too? Open link, a new tab. No content. But they're speaking in. If that's a new bot. That's a good one. I don't know if that's a Google bug. That's why I'm not flagging them. Looks like spam, but I don't know that it is. So. And then we got Angel here. It says war talents on 20 different types of troops. That's 200 war books. Which one should I do? I only have 30. Can't tell you that. At some point, all I can do is tell you how things work, and you gotta make decisions for yourself. Are you offensive? Are you defensive? What are you doing? Do you play mostly freaking PvE stuff, or do you play a lot of PvP stuff? Come into a live, Angel, and do that sometime, and that's more of a back and forth discussion. It's not something I can just blindly blurt to somebody and say, here's how it's done. If it was click here and you win, there wouldn't be no need for me. The conventional wisdom would be the way everything worked. Yeah. Thanks, Dinesh. Dinesh, you have to think in 3-month cycles in order to get the max benefit out of the events. You're basically buying stats right when they're about to roll them off. Like we're fairly certain Sky Iron's probably going to roll off the next event or be in the whatever the freebie thing you get from looting your RSS in your castle. Whatever that they're going to call that this next time. You'll probably be able to buy Sky Iron with that, and then that'll be the time Sky Iron rolls off. So that's going to be the time if you don't have your Sky Iron done to get your Sky Iron done. That's how you play for free. That keeps you in the game. That keeps you relevant. That makes you. It really, honestly, keeps you in the top 15% of players if you're religious about doing that. Koji, when Koji's on here, he's playing 2 kingdoms for free, and he's about to have C40s in both of them that aren't slouches. I mean, they're not the best castles you're ever going to have, but guarantee you, number one, he's very, very good at playing his castle. He's going to burn you. Or at least going to make you spend so much gold chasing him around that you're going to get tired of it. Yeah, about 600% per event's been normal lately. It'll probably be more starting this event or the next, whatever it is. Like right now, they got the Rage Fire COAs for $20 as a subscription. You just got to log in every day to get them. And I bought that. That was $20. I was like, okay, that's $200 worth of loot for $20. I'll work on dealing with the rest of the COAs at the end of the month. So, like, right now on my little C-22, if I took everything out of my bags and put it on, which I'm not doing, I'd rather sit at 0 troops come the next event and get an extra 6 to 1,200% stat jump, maxing everything out all at once. I got my little mix and match crap gear. I don't know if you saw that in one of the other videos, where I got Ret, Duelist, and DH on. And then I'm distracted by the little freaking icon that MJ got up there. I don't know why. Squirrel. I'm tired. But right now I added it up. I'm somewhere in the 2,100, 3,500s on a brand new account. Just paying attention to the deals. A PRC. Oh. Oh. I'm not going to open it up, but yeah, I got reported for inappropriate behavior in game. Meanwhile, the only people I've talked to is Miller. The only thing we've done is joke with him, and it's got nothing to do with in game. I'm calling him out here. That's the beauty of being me. Unfortunately, and what's better about it now is because of the drama they're creating and the way I'm going to deal with it this year, I'll make money from them. I expect to get back the $10,000 I'm going to invest in K533 this year from Trick, Miller, and the whole crew. They're already pouring in. They've taken the bait. They're invested. They're building bot farms and freaking. They're invested. They're going to make me a fortune because they're going to be nothing but constant drama. And I wasn't ready. I started that with the K410. I have a couple videos that are still up with the K410 drama where I built the castle there. That same crew followed me to K410. They followed me from 312 to 362. That's the little picture I've showed up of how they said, you go in there and you tell everybody it's their fault why everything's failing. Meanwhile, I think there's like 45 kingdoms that I advise off film and that do nothing but send me thank yous because they follow the advice. I don't bring the drama with them. Now, I took time to worry about the fact that I knew I was going to bring drama to K533. I knew it. So I had to incorporate into the business plan this year, what am I going to do about the drama? And since I have a whole bunch of stuff that I have to do that we're doing for research and papers I'm writing for Congress and Senate, because I'm trying to put a stop to this speech suppression thing they got going on. I don't think it's going to happen. Me stopping it is. I'm like a lone voice out there. If you don't know what a spam filter is, guys, a spam filter is where somebody else reads your content before you do and decides whether or not you should read it. They're wanting to put that in game, and they're turning around and they're blaming the game for people like Trick's behavior. And I have said, You are who you are before you pick up this piece of glass. You're still you. And if you're typing, you're the biggest butt ever in that guy's life, I don't know why you don't shut up and go away. You need to seek help. You're the guy needing to seek help. You're the guy that this is you. Go black screen. Look at a reflection. The what they're ranting about is somewhere in the back of their mind, they know they need to stop what they're doing. They just can't figure out how to do it for themselves. They're addicted to it. It's an addictive thing. Whatever's going on in their life, they're taking it out on some random guy. They don't know me. This is a personality. I tend to be nicer than I normally am. But you know, I'm not posting pictures of me in a wife beater either. You know, because that's just not me. But one of the reasons I can be a nice guy is, for all my life, I've been a big guy. No one turns around and walks up to and insults me into my face. It just doesn't happen. Well, first of all, their support's outsourced. And pretty much I'm sure that the game might be laundering money, being used to launder money, where whatever illegal product being sold, in order to move the money outside the United States or whatever country it's in, they go in and buy they go and buy digital supplies. And that's where we got all these max rank castles, was the money laundering system broke down to people playing the accounts they were dumping money into. Right now with COVID, the drug cartels are taking a big hit on income. Talk about having your layoff problem. In that business, when they lay you off, they can't have you snitching. I'm French, and I don't very understand. I already used T10 calculator for my C30, and take an attack, or we need to add to the calculator. Man, I'm just going to have to ignore that, Leo. Man, I can't figure out what you're trying to tell me. Buck boots. Oh, yeah. All you guys who caught me, I didn't know where my buck boots went, because it was the first time I ever seen gear disintegrated in a while. They said that wasn't supposed to happen no more, and then they didn't warn us that it was gonna. They did. It says in there they're using the thing, but I didn't pay attention to that. Any idea what gives you cab distance and infantry damage now? Been seeing a lot of people in Musketeer Fort with way higher damage stats on these. It's in your books, man. It's in the war books. That's somebody with a lot of war books. And when they have much higher stats than you to begin with, they get a much bigger set of damages. So that's in the war books. It's also in the airship. A lot of 6-star airships out there these days. You put a 6-star on your bottom, your distance damage, which is your bottom talent. You're adding damage to the distance. Same thing with your counts. That's where those bottom 2 on your attack. That's where your 2 stars should be maxed out all the time. Is those 2 talents, in my opinion. I got 2 of the same scrolls. All right, we're just thumbs up, and some of these people just telling me what they got. Love you, GunMuse, but you frustrate me sometimes. Sometimes you don't read what's in front of your face. See these glasses? That makes it barely capable of seeing with something. I hate to tell you guys, I have these monstrous. I bleed into my eyes. I'm waiting surgery. I've got to have 2 surgeries to determine whether or not I'm going to get a 3rd surgery. The first one's they're going to shove a needle in my eye. I get needles shoved in my eyes every 2 weeks now to try and dissipate the blood that's forming in my eyes. And then but they're going to shove one in the back of the eye all the way to the vein that feeds blood to the eyes to measure the blood pressure there. Actually, literally measure the blood pressure in my brain. I got to do that one here shortly. And then I got to get a spinal tap to measure the blood pressure that's coming up through the spine to the cranium from there. So input and output blood pressure tests. Spinal tap and the eyeball is the two places they're going to do that. Fun, fun, fun. My understanding is spinal taps are very, very painful. We'll see. Other people's idea of pain and mine are two different things, so we'll find out. So that's me not reading the things right in front of my face. Please read the update mail. It tells you which shooting range things were updated. First of all, I don't read the update emails because I go into it blind like a user would. No one reads these updates. There is a method to that so that I discover like people discover. That allows me to be confused so that I can work out a process for helping discuss it in a way that becomes less confusing. So that's a little bit of a method. When we do the live ones, you guys are seeing that live where I'm not reading something. I mean, that is what it is. Can't help that. He's in my alliance now, so I don't care. Yeah. Where may I find your UAC strategy for tower placement, forcing opponents into the forest? I don't have one. If your alliance cannot deal with its enemies on a proper footing and proper tower techniques, UACs are good practice for KVKs. I use a spread alliance tower pattern. I do not use trickery. And the reason I do is because I expect people to learn how to engage a tower, leave a tower, know when to run from a tower, how to trick somebody into a tower so that you can kill them there instead of having to deal with their castle directly. All kinds of trickery techniques, training techniques that I go through UAC, and we're going to be doing those videos in we're going to be doing those videos in Kingdom 533. That's part of the plan this year. I've got so many people who have followed the basic stuff that I put up on YouTube. We can now start getting into strategy stuff. I got to have a team for that. I got to have a team that follows instructions and also knows that I'm going to be filming stuff. And just like a real film crew, my God, we got to slow things down and maybe sometimes do things over just to get it filmed. So it requires patience from the alliance. So there's a trade-off there. Yeah, the how to punt people from the forest. Nobody's punted me from the forest in a year. Period. There's a new calculator called the Meat Shield over on Rogers Raiders. It shows you how to build your layers up. So, and it's in that calculation, it asks you how many hits do you expect to take. And as long as the guy that's hitting you is not more than 20% higher than you, you should be able to absorb that hit with a wind light. And how many times he's going to hit you? So, if you want to be one of these players that sits in the forest and farms out a tower, go use the Meat Shield calculator. That's what it's there for, guys. All right. MJ, welcome to the M&M Money. Thanks for joining. You'd think the dollar one would be my number one account. It's not. I got more $4.99. I got a lot of $9.99 ones too. The average comes out to $4.71 between the people who pay $25 and $9 and $4 and $1. And then I got a bunch of $2 players. But we're happy to get the 99 cents a month. That's all that does is it allows me to plan for next month. Right now, what we're going to spend money on, I'm shopping for a 50,000 gallon fuel tank. because one of our biggest expenses is fuel for people doing deliveries for vets. And fuel right now, it is $4.80 for a barrel of oil in West Texas. I can go buy fuel directly from the refinery at 62 cents a gallon right now. And I think, if we can buy 50,000 gallons of that, and then just fill people's cars up from that, and then just store it for when prices go back up. Trump's going to have a fix for this thing, for the United States. I realize a bunch of you guys are in another country right now. For us, the fix is going to be, we'll put tariffs on foreign oil coming into the United States. Because right now, current tax law that the Democrats wrote back in the 70s gives you a tax credit, literally money you did not pay in taxes, if you buy foreign oil that is sold to the United States. In other words, if you're destroying the U.S. economy, there's a tax credit for it. And that has never gone away. There's a book I read a long time ago, How the Rich Stay Rich. And that technique is in that book. And I have a feeling that Trump is going to fix that problem. Going to get oil back up over above $30 a barrel. But if you look at oil futures, oil is not going to be above $20 a barrel till sometime around December. You can see what people are buying oil for right now in December. They're pre-buying oil that far out. There's just not enough storage. And then I was watching on some of the other, oil's just one commodity. Right now they're out there killing chickens. I mean, like wholesale killing chickens because they don't want to pay to feed the chickens because no one's buying the eggs that they were selling to the restaurants because no one's going to the restaurants. So the left out there, the pro don't hurt the little wee bitty animals who keeps telling everybody to stay home while 26 million people lost their job. Something like 180 million chickens killed last month. And that's just chickens. They're literally talking about what to do with cows right now because there's some slaughterhouses who are talking about just killing the cows and whatever they do with waste meat, not even packaging it, because their customer base was all restaurants. Once you kill that cow, once you waste that meat, that's done. It takes 2 years to grow another one. You think the next recourse out of this COVID thing, because someone let a doctor who be in charge, the media keeps wanting to let the doctor be in charge. The next thing on this, guys, buckle up for the price of food. Have no clue. I don't even have a clue. We're spending crap loads of extra money storing food right now because we think the prices are going to go 400% on some things. Because I have to eat a keto diet, so I eat beef. I'll go out this Friday and I'm going to buy another 50 pounds sometime. Wait a minute. Today is Friday. I'm going to go out later this afternoon and buy another 50 pounds of meat. Just what I do. Little advice. Plan ahead. You can always buy the ramen noodles because they're bad for you. But you can't always buy the meat because it's good for you. The human brain is designed to run on protein. It suffers and dies on carbs. So J-Dub, why does J-Dub have 100 subscribers? The reason I go through all this effort to look at these people, this channel does not have any content, but has 100 subscribers. You can't have both. No one's subscribing to you for no good damn reason. Just hide from the channel. Our boot rings. last UAC, C-39 zeroed himself on my C-30. Oh. Sorry about that. Got a cramp in my throat, of all things. We had this happen to us. I've already talked about this stuff. And then you get these people who are like, how's that a glitch? That he's talking about us doing the C5. If you haven't seen the video, I've got one, the C5 stealing a C40's wonders. They sent me 40 seconds of video, and it took me I had to add some fluff to it in order to get it up to 4 or 5 minutes. I call it my cool hand muse video because I got permission from Turner Classic Movies to put some cool hand Luke stuff in there. But I actually put them out of sequence. Everybody thinks I cut the speech up, but the speech is not in order. For those that are cool hand Luke, I had to mix it up to what I was doing. Holy hell, how long did you guys drink last night? If you guys don't know, on Saturday we've been having these live drinking parties. While the COVID thing's been going on, we probably keep doing it thereafter. Count out to Rev and K533. There you go. Robert Huffman. Oh my God, he spammed like every freaking video. Buddy's a subscriber. He's a sponsor. I shouldn't say subscriber. Subscriber lets Google notify you. For those who are wondering, a subscriber's worth about 3 cents a year. It's not much. That's why I don't care about that subscriber number. We care about the views number. We care about the duration of time number. We're about 7 minutes on this one, which is actually low. But this is why we don't do them during daytime. You want to know why I don't do very many lives during this time? It's because of the amount of time you guys watch. At night, the average person watches for 30 to 45 minutes. And then I got some guys that will stay on there for 6-7 hours, depending on how much we're all drunk. But doing this live for you hurts my channel analytics. But it's got to be done. So you guys will get the lives not nearly as often as everybody else does, just simply because you don't watch for as long. And I know why. It's daytime for most of you. You got better crap to be doing. Or you'll go, I'll watch it and replay later. We'll see. All right, Robert. He paid to spam my channel is what he did. Robert, not seeing ads in the live stream, Yeso? Yeah, so. You won't see the ads for live doesn't get put into the system until afterwards. Then it does one every 30 minutes. I don't go through and re-edit or any of that stuff. It's live. It's live. And then back when I was in the news organizations, I was pretty huffy about freaking people. Most videos. Probably the country you're from. The advertisers themselves can say, I don't want people from this country to see an ad. I don't have any control over that. 95% of the content doesn't have ads on it. Yeah, watch the comment. Now, on the computer, there is a whole bunch of stuff. Like, also, it depends on where you're watching the video from. Like, if somebody links my video up to your Alliance's Facebook page, you'll never see an ad in that, because YouTube won't allow an ad in that. I can tell you that because of the COVID, the number of ads is going down. The amount of money I'm making is going up, but the number of ads that are getting placed, I do watch that stat. The number of ads being shown are going way, way down. And also, I have a setting on my side for placing of ads where I say don't harass. I can turn around and move the slider all the way to the right and say, every time they click a button, every time they change the page, show that person an ad. I don't do that. I have found that if I move it all the way over to the left, and it shows about a 30% display is what it's telling me, and I don't even know what those numbers mean. I just know that it says that 97% of the people will see an ad, but it doesn't mean you'll see 2 ads or 3 ads or 4 ads. That is not only better experience for you, it's a better experience for the people who advertise with me. Showing you guys have all seen this, like, especially if you got any streaming TV apps that you're watching for free, and the same ad plays 9 times in a row from your local business in your TV app. That local business just got robbed. And I've been a business owner for a long time, so not only do I worry about what you guys see, what you guys do, I worry about the business owners too. I don't want to steal their money. The whole point to Rogers Raiders is to earn the income and for people to be proud that they're sponsoring what we do. Not to milk every last nickel out of it. The difference in income between the low setting, where you don't see that many ads, and the Uber setting, $1.50 a day. What do I care about that $1.50? I would rather have the 19,000 people now not be barraged with ads. That's the goal. There's methods of the madness. I've been doing this for 25 years. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that Sasquatch soap wants to sell soap in Thailand, yeah. So Sasquatch soap is like my number one sponsor. They throw lots of money at me, but then my audience is 93% male. So selling soap to men in a humorous manner works for them. They're actually, people buy it. I've had people tell me they bought it when they saw it on my channel. I bought it because I saw it on my channel, and plus they give me so much money. I was happy with it. Yeah, I don't do that. It's annoying you with ads does not make you want to come back to that channel. You've got to understand this is not a bear trap. You can go anywhere. There is hundreds of people who make Guns of Glory videos. You don't have to come see me. There's a bunch of them that don't have any ads at all on them, simply because they're not monetized. But those of you that are listening to me because you wonder how I get so many people in here live, this is how. I don't annoy them. They know that when they get that little notification on their phone that while they watch my videos, once in a blue moon there was an ad. I don't even determine that. It's built into Google's logarithm. My only ability to say is, I don't want you to harass them with ads. Turn the slider down. That's all I can do. We don't make that much money from YouTube anyway. You know, a few $1,000s a month. Most of our money comes from the fact that we do YouTube, if that makes sense. I've got oil companies that give us a couple $100,000 a year right now to my charity, simply because we do this and we're attempting to build a better community. They like the thought of it. They want to be on board with something that's never been done before. They all got kids that they hand phones to, and I'm turning around trying to make it a better environment for their kids. Hell yeah, the guy down there said, yes, we'll give you a couple $100,000. Some of our, like MSI was supposed to send me computers. Now they forced me to build, the guy that I talked to that does the repping, where they were going to give me a couple new computers. I used to do these national build-offs for manufacturer competitions, and I've won 2 years in a row, and then I quit doing them. I've set world records at the time for memory to CPU speeds, my main focus goal. But the matter of fact, this computer here, I lost an entire 5 terabytes of movies the other day because I know better, but I turned the speed up on this computer because I was tired of waiting for something to move off an SSD onto a rotary drive, and I was writing to a rotary drive at 350 megs per second, and I burned the damn rotary drive up. I was sitting there talking to somebody on the thing when I said, I smell smoke, and didn't know it. That's because I started a copy in the background, wasn't paying attention. Yeah, we don't. The lives do one every 30 minutes. It does it all by itself. And then the video should be one up front if you hadn't watched any other videos that day. Let's say you're on somebody else's channel and you came to mine from there, but you'd already watched an ad. If my settings are right, my channel shouldn't show you an ad. Now, I don't get any money for that, but I get a user experience. And the reason I do that is the guys who browse in, I want to keep them there. So I want to entertain them. Now, the average person watches 2.5 videos once they come to the channel. And so there is exit videos, and there's swap between video ads. So I get them. I get you somewhere. And then I've got to go find them. I know that I had some ad settings wrong. You know those little banners that pop up in the middle of the video? I don't want those anywhere in any of my videos. They're not supposed to be there. But something went wrong, and during one of these crossovers between YouTube Classic and YouTube Beta, I didn't know it was putting those ads in where the banner pops up over the video. What's the point of me shooting a video if I got an ad over the top of it? And people accidentally click the ad, and then they wind up exiting my video because they accidentally clicked the ad. And the accidental exit of the video actually costs me performance numbers to get more viewers. It's not worth the click to lose the viewer. It's short-term income is what it winds up being. Yeah, Huff, you're killing me, man. Oh, I'm not even giving you hearts no more. I'm about to start giving you thumbs down. What he does, Robert, what he doesn't know is we were in a live chat. He was chatting by himself in comments. I can't even see the comments while we're in live chat. Like right now, if you guys are talking in comments, I can't see them. So. watch out for coronavirus. I think I had it back last November. You want to see me pissed? You want to see me get pissed off? Man, I spend my day in a world of pissed off dealing with the VA. The VA is currently closed. Veterans cannot get health care due to the COVID virus. Not because Washington told them to. The president didn't tell them to. We have healthcare professionals who are so shitty that they want to stay at work drawing a paycheck and not do their job. And you're going to hear on the news here very shortly about how a whole bunch of government employees are going to be the next round of layoffs because they're not going to go unscathed while 26 million people out of work and all the government workers sat home with full paychecks. Remember all those unessential people? Every time the government shut down, why shouldn't they be sitting at home right now? They're unessential. Why should they draw a paycheck if they're unessential? So it was one thing because of budgetary shutdowns, but everybody else is out of a job because of the damn disease. They're not drawing income. Put them on unemployment. They shouldn't be drawing a $10,000 a month check while you have to wait 2 months for your unemployment check to start. You'll be back to work by the time you get your unemployment checks. It's that bad. It's especially bad here in New Mexico. It's 1 a.m. and I needed to watch this. All right, I love these addicts. See, I complain about all my hateful stalkers, but I turn around and give thumbs and thumbs up to all my positive stalkers. So what is the fix? Okay, he's commenting on the Amazon coins. I'm going to redo the Amazon coin deal. I got to drop a couple $1,000s in game here next week, and I'm going to do the Amazon hack. Even though Amazon screwed me over for every dollar. I know people were spending $1,000 a month after downloading my Amazon stuff with my links. But Amazon didn't give me any credit for this stuff. They credited the click, but not the purchases. Yeah. My little active troll's like, he uses the word hack. There's no hack to it. That's right. It's called marketing. Every once in a while, I'll go out and use the word trick, hack, secret, because the people who browse through YouTube, their eyes land on that. Otherwise, they get what's called banner blindness. They literally cannot see the banners that their eyes are scanning across because they're in the same place every time. So, but their brain will react to certain keywords. And I don't do it often, but I do it during the events quite a bit. And the results are insane. It's like a 500% gain in traffic from doing things like that. I missed part of a conversation here. Where are the fence supposed to? They don't care. Oh, they're going to call us on the phone, guys. They called to tell me. They called to tell me they're going to call me on the phone. And I said, for your next visit. And I asked them. I said, well, how are you going to draw blood? Well, we're not going to do that. I said, then why do I need to talk to the doctor? Well, you have a visit schedule. I'm like, well, that means you get to tell the government you did your job by keeping the appointment that you're required to keep by law, but you're not really keeping the appointment. You're calling me on the phone. You're not my buddy. You're not my pal. You're actually the sorry SOB that just got caught lying. I just busted my doctor bogus photos twice. We're turning this one over not just for a lawsuit, but we're criminally prosecuting now. They have been exchanging MRIs and X-rays of healthy people instead of using the ones that they took. Just caught them 4 days ago because they pulled it again, where I had 3 MRIs where the vessels in my brain were expanded, and I went to this MRI, the personally vouched for MRI, and this idiot doesn't know that I used to build these things. I know what they sound like. I know what the table, the table's index on the CT. None of that happened. Slid me in, slid me out. We're done. 2 days later, my nurse calls me and says, nothing wrong, nothing to see here. 2 weeks later, my neurologist schedules his own CT at his own place, and we got exactly the same image that we got before the fake one. Right now I'm trying to find somebody that can determine, but that's not the only one that did that too. I had an X-ray of my left ankle. I was looking at it and was going, that's not my ankle. And the doctor goes, how the hell could you know if that's your ankle or not looking at an X-ray? I was like, well, I broke that ankle twice. Can you tell where in the picture? I broke it twice in 1 week, as a matter of fact. And he goes, no, I don't see any bokes. I said, that's right. You should see scar on the bone where it healed up. Because when I broke it the second time, I didn't set it. I didn't go back to the doctor. I set it myself. It never healed right. There's a big jag of bone sticking out of that angle, and you don't see it in there. Somebody swapped my X-rays out. The daily deals, man, wait for those, even those, yeah, for the RSS maybe. I use a farm system for the RSS. It's going to take a month to get it rolling properly, but I've got 3 farms now working. Once they start building RSS for themselves, they can grow, and then they can build RSS for themselves. Huh. 3.2 million troops in K533. I would consider myself out of troops. Which is where I'm at there right now. I've got to build up another 6 to 9 million troops to play in that kingdom. I don't have any complaint. I know a lot of people are complaining about the matchup system. I honestly, because I like the strategy portion of the game, I don't have any complaints about hard matchups. It's just a challenge for the day. I don't go into everything expecting to win. But I go into everything expecting to be able to win. If I get beat in 5 minutes, that wasn't strategy no more. That was somebody selling me. You know what? Now I'm going to make this bigger. I can't. Oh, wrong one. My eyes are getting worse as we go here. see some people are finding my old C16 to C17 castle upgrades for the starter quest, and I'm going to be adding 2 of those shortly. Excuse me. $9K speed ups is right about 3 million troops. Depending on what layers you got to build. Do you build layers in Kingdom 50, MJG? Midge? 2 good farms on Cata 8 and Spirit Mines will feed an account all the way up to 40 rather. But believe it or not, it will have a problem with all 3 castles. It will have a problem feeding it T12s to fight in combat now. So the RSS gathering, 3 maxed accounts for RSS gather cannot sustain 1 C40 and T12s anymore at the rate that they've been playing around with this troops, and more troops are dying, and it takes more to heal, and it takes a lot more than it did. How do you chat in a live stream? Man, I don't know how to tell that. That would depend on the device they're on. I think on some of the phone devices, the little live stream chat's hidden, like on your phone. Look at this, because I called my calculator the COVID calculator, right? I called my calculator the COVID calculator with bad marketing, not because of the negative reaction that people might have, but because so many people were using the word COVID, and I knew this. I said it in the release video, that naming it the COVID calculator was not a good idea from a marketing standpoint. But the point is if you got a C40, then you should have been donating money to my freaking military stuff if you were complaining about me not having a T12 calculator. All right? I know you're spending lots and lots of money every single month, and what has happened is happening. I've staved it off, and I'm actually getting more rad revenue than I was before. But I expected the number of advertisers to dwindle down, and for us to lean more on the people who donate monthly. And so the COVID calculator was to address a COVID marketing issue with my charity. Because due to the COVID, I have more 20-year-olds driving around and doing grocery shopping for people. Now, we're making a little use of the Walmart app and the Sam's Club app to where people are putting their stuff in, and then the kid just goes and picks it up, brings it back. They don't have to run around the store and fill the carts up no more. So, if you guys haven't noticed, there was a well-oiled digital machine in place to create a new society where you all never leave your home. And basically, welcome to the Matrix. If you're not feeding the energy from your own little pod, they don't have any use for you. Okay, guys, I didn't want this to go this long even. Just know the daytime ones are gonna be less. It's just a math thing. Although you guys are up to like 9 minutes, but you're like, you hurt my freaking average watch time. That's a critical number. It may go up with the replays, but it is. And then I got 20 results of comments. I don't know how many pages I got. Oh, they got the endless page. I got almost. I know I'm like 4,800 comments to go through. Okay, so I appreciate it, guys. We're gonna cut this off, and make Kingdom 533. You know, if you want to come play in a new kingdom, lower cost, fun to play. I only got a couple slots today if you join up in there, but you can find us at RRG in Kingdom 533. Thanks. Of course, it's not letting me end the stream. Well, I can stop sending video from my end, YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's being a pain here.